For 2019, Porsche unveiled their facelifted Macan S. And, sorry, wrong one. Yeah, apart from the rear light design, the changes are pretty minor. Anyway, let's get into it and see why this Porsche Macan S might just be the perfect driver's SUV. My name's Tom, and you're watching Paragon Cars. Let's go. We're on Instagram, so if you want to see behind the scenes footage, weekly updates, and some of the stuff we've got for sale, click the link in the description below. Now, one change that is pretty major for the Macan is actually the engine, as no longer can you get the diesel Macan S. It's 2-litre petrol, 3-litre petrol, or 2.9-litre petrol. This Macan S uses the 3-litre single twin-scroll turbo engine, very similar to the one you'd find in the Audi SQ5. In the Macan S, it puts out 354 horsepower and 480 Nm of torque. A healthy amount for a daily driver, but when you consider the Macan weighs nearly 2 tonnes, it certainly needs it. Let's see what she can muster on the 30 to 70 sprint. Okay, so scores on the doors, and we managed a time of 4.83 seconds, which is certainly not slow. Isn't exactly the best time for the power it has either. I mean, a base model Golf GTI was just as quick. Plus, if you look closer, you'll notice the Audi SQ5 was actually quicker as well. This is mainly due to the fact that it has 20 Nm more torque, and its gearing. In fact, actually, I think it's mainly due to the gearing. Here you can see when the Macan changes to third gear, it drops all the way down to 4,000 RPM, whereas the SQ5 only drops to 4,600. This means the SQ5 is sitting right in the best part of the power band for quick acceleration. Not sure why Porsche are so hell-bent on giving their cars long gears, but in the Macan it kind of just doesn't really make sense to me. Anyway, into the meat of the inside. You have a high quality interior fitted with a large infotainment screen and plenty of leather. It's a nice interior, but as much as I hate touchscreen only systems, I think Porsche has actually hit the other side of the spectrum on this one and put in too many buttons. Anyway, if you want to see a full practicality test on the Macan, please follow the link in the top right hand corner. As for now though, I think it's time to get on the road and do some driving. Lego. Oh, it's nice to be back into another Porsche. But this one, being petrol, I am quite excited for. Being a Macan S, it's nice and soft over speed bumps, a little bit sporty, nothing too crazy. Driving it again, steering weight is lovely, PDK gearbox, absolutely sublime. I mean, it just shifts through gears so well, it is crazy. Throttle pedal, brake pedal, easy to modulate. Just everything about Porsches is always so good. Seating position, again, absolutely perfect. You can adjust how far the headrest is actually towards your head as well. So if you've got a bit of a slouch over look like I do, then having the headrest a little bit further forward is nice. It just gives you a bit more head support. It's just such an easy car to drive. I did notice in the diesel that it would change gears a lot sooner. Obviously you've got a bit more low down torque than the petrol powered equivalent, but it does mean you get a bit of V6 noise, which is pretty nice. Apologies if you can hear the air conditioning, by the way. It is ripping hot today. It says it's only 28.5, it feels more like 40 today. Oh, just quiet, comfortable. You really can't complain. It's just such a good car to waft in. And although the steering's quite heavy compared to a lot of other SUVs like BMW X3s, especially the Audi, it just has this really nice feel to it. It's very precise, very linear. And like, it feels like you're moving something, which is nice. A lot of steering racks these days, you sort of turn them and you're kind of just like, what's happening? I don't really know what's going on. This, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly where the tyres are pointing. And it instills this quiet confidence in you that almost relaxes you in a way, because you just know exactly what the car's doing all the time. It gives you so much confidence, and it even means when you're driving it slowly, it still feels safer. It's quite an odd experience, but it's one that you have to actually like experience yourself to really understand, I think. It's weird, you drive this engine in the Audi SQ5, it feels very different. The way it's been set up, this is much more like rev happy. I think because it's connected to a dual clutch rather than a torque converter makes a difference. It feels a bit less sluggish. Anyway, in terms of parking, just like the diesel Macan S, visibility isn't great, and without a reverse camera, it is quite difficult to see out of, especially out the back. The sides aren't so bad, like the wing mirrors, they're a bit small, but the view out the back is like Audi R8 bad. It is genuinely quite awful. Steering lock is okay, but it's, you know, it could be better. Something like a BMW X3 is a bit easier to park. Even a BMW X4 is easier to park. And again, once you're in the space, you realise just how wide this thing is. This thing is like supercar wide. It's pretty crazy. And like, it means getting out can be pretty difficult actually. Obviously, being a wide car, it does mean it's going to handle better than most other SUVs. But it does come with its compromises. The second you set off though, you completely forget about how wide this car is, because it is just beautiful to drive. Inward start stop. It's not going to do it now, is it? No. Half throttle coming out of a junction, and oh, it just rockets you down the road. And that PDK, I mean, that is the star of the show really. Engine is fantastic, the way this thing handles is fantastic, but it really is this dual clutch gearbox that it's just imperceivably fast at shifting. Like, it shifts almost faster than you can blink. You like blink and you're like, you've shifted 2 gears. It's crazy. The thing is, you hear it shift, you feel nothing. Like from the seat, like you hear the engine change tone and you see the rev counter drop, but you don't actually feel anything. It's very different to other dual clutch systems. And it's not jerky as well. Like a lot of other dual clutch systems, especially in something like a BMW M3 or M4, you notice their dual clutch box, you sort of have to press the throttle and it's kind of engaged or not engaged, and it's always a bit weird to use. This is just, you know, it drives as smooth as a torque converter like a ZF 8-speed does, yet shifts like a proper dual clutch system. It really is impressive. Anyway, in terms of MPG, you can get about 34 out of this thing realistically. So hopefully we can get that today. It just depends on traffic. Which means then, you know, if you factor in the price of diesel versus petrol, the diesel's still a little bit better on the motorway, but you know, swings and roundabouts really. Petrol sounds better, is probably going to be a bit more exciting on a B road. Can't have your cake and eat it all the time. Anyway, before we do that, let's get this thing into sports mode, have a listen to the exhaust, and have a taste of the handling. Okay, we're in sports mode, traction control is off. Let's see what this Macan S feels like. Should we go for manual? Yeah, let's go for manual. Just look at those shifts. Absolutely absurd. Nice. Get the pan roof open a bit actually, so we can hear anything. The exhaust is quite quiet on this, being a OPF, GPF, PPF fitted model, whatever you want to call it. It is quite muted, so maybe want to mod it if you want to get some proper noise out of it. But just look at those shifts. And there's a bit of traffic, so I can't really push it. But it's it just shifts so crisp. It really is fantastic. And steering, again, steering in these things, it always surprises me. It does feel like a proper Porsche. It really isn't just a rebadged Audi Q5. Anyway, we're in traffic now, so we may as well get on to the motorway section of the review. So yeah, let's get on the motorway and see if we can hit that MPG figure. Okay, so on the combined cycle, it does about 31.4, and we're at 30.7, so it's not far off, I suppose. However, not a brilliant figure. On a longer run, it's going to be pretty expensive to run this thing. So yeah, not the best motorway car, but it should give me a bit of fizz on a B road. Let's go see what it's like. Okay, back in sports, everything's in its sportiest setting. I'm in manual. Oh, nice bit of V6 noise there. Bit muted, but it is there. Let's see what sort of angles we can get on this thing. There's a lot of traffic now at this time of day, unfortunately, so might have to bear with. Oh no, we got a gap. Hey, look at the front end grip on this thing. Just ridiculous. It just corners so beautifully. And it means you can exit corners a lot quicker as well. Of course means, although it's not the fastest car in a straight line, add a couple of corners into the mix, you'll find it hard to keep up with this thing. I would do a brake test, but this taxi in front of me is driving about 10 miles an hour. Right, let's get the pan roof open. That's what it's there for, to get some noise. See if we can get any sound. Oh yeah, so from the outside, not bad. It's just a very well insulated cabin, I think. Actually, we can get through here. Nice. That's where the Porsche is very good. The way it corners is just so satisfying. Of course you can place it where you want, but it's just, it's almost tighter than you're expecting. And the front end grip is just monumental. You can feel a bit of movement. I mean, it kind of wants to stay in place a bit. Doesn't really want to oversteer that much. But it doesn't understeer either. It just kind of bites into the road. Oh, that PDK is wicked. It's just like bang, bang, bang. It rev matches perfectly. Crazy how good it is. Brakes, absolutely solid. Porsche know how to do brakes, that's for sure. Just the cornering speeds you can get in this thing is just monumental. I think because it's such a well insulated cabin as well, it does so much better than you're expecting. And you look down at the speedo and you're kind of like, whoa, okay, time to slow down. Third gear. It's always third gear that you really can rev it out. Oof. So crisp. Okay. Now the diesel down here was very good. I'm guessing this is even better. Oh, it's so good. Oh yeah, the front end definitely feels a bit more dialed in. Just a tad sharper. You have to be careful about the width though. You can just chuck it around corners. 2 tons and you can just chuck it around a corner. Crazy stuff. 2 tons that's high up as well. Oh my goodness. Can feel some torque vectoring stuff going on there. Okay, as good as the PDK is, I'm not going to launch it, but let's see if we can hit 60 before the corner. Of course we can. Look at that. And you're always at the right RPM. That's what I love about this gearbox. Part of it's quite long, but at lower speeds, you're just always at the right part of the rev range to really get some power out of this engine. It's just so competent, it's crazy. Never having to guess where any part of the corner is either. Unbelievably confidence inspiring. Good. Yeah, front end just feels so good. Steering's the same, suspension is the same. It's just more of the good stuff. Just with a bit of a nicer engine note to go along with it. Is it better than a BMW X3 M40i? I think it is. I think the engine in that car is nicer, but the way this thing drives, my god, it's delicious. Now, after watching this review, you're probably thinking, okay, so the Macan isn't that fast compared to its competitors, nor is it that good on fuel, and, well, you're right. But if the feeling of driving means anything to you, you'd know that headline figures doesn't even make up half of the story. The feeling you get from driving this SUV, I know, I never thought I'd say that, is just pure satisfaction. You feel in control and one with the car. For SUVs, that is a very rare thing indeed. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time to end. If you enjoyed this review, give it a little like, and why not subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale. My name's Tom, and you've been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.